Have you ever wondered why, among so many people, it seems that no one really cares about you? In such an interconnected world, the feeling of loneliness can be overwhelming. But is the reason for this lack of interest in others, or perhaps in ourselves? In this video, we're going to explore deeply what leads someone to feel ignored, and you might be surprised by what you discover. Have you ever had that feeling of being trapped in an invisible bubble while everyone around seems to connect? What if I told you that many times this invisible barrier is the result of our own insecurities? The way we see ourselves isn't just a detail, it shapes how others perceive us. When self-esteem is low, people not only notice it, they feel it. The more we criticize ourselves, the harder it becomes to believe anyone could be interested in us. It's like looking into a broken mirror. No matter how hard you try to see the complete reflection, the pieces never quite fit together. Focusing on our flaws limits the space for new connections. But is it just a matter of self-esteem? Not exactly. The way we express ourselves also matters. Have you noticed how certain conversations create an instant connection, while others drag on, as if each sentence hits an invisible barrier? The way we communicate or the lack of expression builds bridges or erects walls. You may have everything you need to spark interest, but if you don't know how to use the right words, they'll be lost. It's like a song without rhythm, full of notes but lacking harmony. Small details like a misplaced smile, poorly chosen words, or an inattentive gaze can subtly drive people away. And sometimes the distancing happens not just because of poor expression, but because of silence. When we stay in our own world, isolated, others also tend to lose interest. Imagine yourself in a silent room where only your breathing is audible. Outside, the world continues, but inside this space, everything is still. Social isolation starts subtly, with an excuse here and absence there. Gradually, we isolate ourselves not only from others, but from ourselves. This distancing is often unconscious, a defense against rejections, but it ends up intensifying the loneliness. Isolation is not only physical, it can also be emotional. You can be in a crowd and still feel invisible, like a misplaced shadow. This disconnection makes conversations difficult and increases others' lack of interest. And when we misinterpret interactions, an expression can seem like a judgment, a comment, like criticism. This distorted perception creates filters that amplify imagined rejection. A smile can feel like mockery, and silence, like disdain, distancing us from others even when they try to get closer. Disinterest sometimes doesn't come from others, but from the expectations we place on them. We create narratives in our heads, expecting interest to come in an exact way, almost like a script. But when that doesn't happen, frustration follows. These unmet expectations rob us of our peace. We want people to show interest, obviously, but human interactions are complex. If our expectations are too high, we risk overlooking small gestures of interest. At the end of the day, others' interest is directly linked to the value we place on ourselves. The way we treat ourselves teaches others how to treat us. If deep down we don't believe we have value, it's hard to project that confidence. The less we believe in our own worth, the less others see us. Thus, disinterest becomes almost inevitable, not because others don't want to connect, but because we present ourselves as a limited version of who we really are. Therefore, others' disinterest isn't always the main problem. Often the barriers lie in our self-esteem, our expression, or our expectations. The fear of rejection pushes us inward, and the more we try to protect ourselves, the more we close off. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward attracting genuine interest. Maybe it's time to look at yourself with more compassion, value small gestures of affection, and understand that not only big gestures matter, In the end, interest starts within us. And you, have you ever gone through something like this? How do you deal with these challenges? Leave your comment, as your experience can inspire others. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.